Hi, it's Jonathan Fitzgordon again. Thanks so much for the feedback on my earlier video. I'm enjoying all of your comments, and I appreciate your taking the time to share your thoughts and suggestions. We've received great feedback, and I want you to know that your comments and suggestions make my work so much better. Today, I want to share with you one of the easiest ways that you can help yourself, your students, and your clients age gracefully in a world where so many factors conspired against us achieving this elusive aim. Because whatever else I am concerned about, aging gracefully is up at the top of the list. Having watched both of my parents fall apart physically in their 70s for different reasons, I am hyper-focused on figuring out how to get to the finish line on 2 feet and with some energy in reserve. When I started the CoreWalking program almost 10 years ago, I barely had an inkling how powerful changing your standing and walking patterns could be. But after working with thousands of clients and training an untold number of yoga teachers, I know that I have tapped into a method for pain relief that is simple and long-lasting. But it requires an honest appraisal of how your mind and body work together to formulate the patterns that you carry through life. In the first video of this series, I covered the basic nature of posture and what it means to stand up straight. In this video, I want to talk briefly about another of life's fundamental actions that is inhibited by the patterns that we think constitute good posture: breathing. Breathing, like standing and walking, is another of these unconscious actions that people don't think too much about and rarely consider the breath as something to improve upon. Of course, this doesn't go for everyone. Singers, musicians, yogis, and many athletes pay a great deal of attention to their breath to facilitate their practice. But I have found time and time again that a person who has cultivated their breath to enhance their skill set fails to apply that deep knowledge to their daily life and routines. I have had sessions with voice teachers, dancers, tennis players, you name it. If I ask them to assume the position of their profession, they breathe beautifully. But when I ask them to stand up straight, their breathing capacity decreases. For whatever reason, I have a lot of opinions about the way we stand and walk that are contrary to many commonly held beliefs. I don't think we should be tucking our pelvises under habitually. I don't think we should be hyperextending our knees. I do think we should relax our big butt muscles, gluteus maximus, as often as we can. It tends to be on all the time, and that doesn't work for me. And like I mentioned in the last video, I don't think we should be following the time-honored instruction of lifting our chest and pulling our shoulders back. I make sure to tell my students that what they feel is much more likely to change their body than what they hear. My words might be accurate, but if they put those words into action and feel that action, then the magic happens. Now, I want to do an exercise so you can feel exactly what I mean about breathing, and I can't repeat too often that feeling is believing. Stand up if you have the room, but you can do this sitting as well. Stand up straight, your best, most active version of straight. And you can do Tadasana if you have a yoga practice. Give it your best. Feel your breath. Take a few relaxed inhales and exhales and try to feel where your breath goes. I'm projecting here because I can't see you, but I have done this in enough privates, workshops, and classes to know that most likely your breath is mostly in the chest, and it is likely that the chest rises at the front exclusively on the inhale. Take a few breaths to feel this. I could be wrong, but over the course of weeks and months, I look at a lot of breathing bodies. Now, I'm going to ask you to indulge me a little bit and stand the way I want you to stand. Remember my do's and don'ts from earlier? Let's return to them to set up the next phase of the exercise. Untuck your pelvis. Stick your butt out, oh so slightly. Don't hyperextend your knees, but don't bend them either. Relax your butt. Just let it go. Now for the upper body. I think that the front of your rib cage is slightly elevated and the back of your rib cage is pulled slightly down at the back. What I want you to do is try to bring the rib cage more level to the floor by lowering the front ribs down a little. Or you could do it by breathing the middle of the back open to allow the front ribs to lower. You might feel that your arms are hanging more freely in their sockets. If so, you're in the right place. Breathe. I don't really care about good or bad, but feel your breath, and does it feel different? What I hope has happened is that the breath drops a little and fills more of the trunk. It doesn't mean that the chest doesn't rise, because it does, but other things can and should happen as well. You could feel your breath in the back. You can feel your ribs expand out as well as up. You can feel the belly distend the tiniest bit as the diaphragm muscle descends and pushes the abdominal contents forward. You might feel all or one of these things. Now go back to what I called old you. What happened to the breath? Did it go up? Did it become shallower? Now go back to that what might feel admittedly odd place that I asked you to go. Again, forget about right or wrong. You are fighting many years of conditioned patterns in this moment. Just feel the difference. When you drop the ribs while untucking the pelvis, you hopefully feel a fuller, more whole-bodied breath. Go back to old you. Feel the pain. The breath goes up and basically gets stuck in the chest. Drop into new you. How does it feel? Changing conditioned patterns is hard. It's not in our instinct to change our unconscious behaviors, let alone conscious ones. To change takes patience and incentive, and very often it takes figuring out the best way for you to learn. To me, what you want to learn is how to age gracefully in the body you've got, how to heal from injuries with expedience, because if you live a full and active life, it is unlikely that you won't have some nicks and scrapes along the way. But if you learn how to improve your posture, learn how to improve your breath, and learn more about the extraordinary design of the human body, healing and aging successfully become a natural part of living. I hope you are able to get some insight into my approach to helping people with dealing with pain relief issues. Changing your conditioned patterns, whether it comes to posture, breathing, walking, or anything else, is essential. In another couple of days, you'll get another video from me. In that video, I will address another fundamental aspect of life that is directly influenced by your anatomy: exercise. Every single exercise we do is meant to target a specific muscle, but it doesn't always work that way. And I'll tell you more about my anatomy program that I mentioned. I'll tell you about how you can learn with and from me in a deep and personal way. So thanks so much again for listening. I'd love it if you could do me a favor and leave a comment or question below on the blog or on our Facebook page. And stay tuned for the next video.